For the technical delays, we are starting tonight's Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia regular meeting. Official time is 7:07 for the start on today, March 18th, 2024. We called meeting to order. Roll call the trustees. Trustee Twitchell.
Here.
Trustee Wendell.
Here.
Trustee Syracuse is absent tonight. Trustee Brockler.
Here.
Trustee Esperson.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm going to ask for an approval of the minutes.
Whereas members of this board have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustee regular meeting of March 4th, 2024, now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Second.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
And Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
This portion of the meeting is for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to speak, once recognized, shall stand at the microphone, state their name and address. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes of speaking for themselves, 5 minutes of speaking on behalf of a group. I will ask that speakers refrain from remarks that are in poor taste, slanderous, or not germane to any action taken or contemplated by the board. Do we have anybody who would like to speak?
Your sign-up sheet there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look at that, you're the first one on the list. There you go.
I can tell because there was no other name on the list when I put my name on it. It was a good guess. Good evening. It's been some winter, hasn't it? I attended the Dunkirk Then and Now presentation at the Opera House the other night and learned a few things about early Dunkirk. I was struck by Diane Andrasik's comments about urban renewal and left thinking about the Nelson Opera House that was demolished in 1946. It was built only 24 years before our Opera House. And I wondered what it would be like if it was still there. But there's a gas station there in its place. But it made me wonder if this vision that I had was inspired by that Opera House. And I'll remind you that it was a vision. This is, okay, you'll know right away though. But in the vision, there was a community picnic in the commons across from the village hall. The sky was blue, the air was warm, and the aroma of char and spices wafted over the gathering. The mayor had just finished his comments celebrating the way the community had come together to share facts and converge upon the necessity of keeping the reservoir as our water supply. There was great relief among those people who'd only been helping by holding their breath. Dunkirk officials had acknowledged they needed to look at things through a wider lens, to be sure things like service demand, unscheduled maintenance, fire suppression were as much considered as the debt they incurred upgrading their facilities. County officials took the podium next and said they were looking through too narrow of a lens as well, and they needed to take a longer view as well. In focusing on reducing debt, they had missed fully understanding the long-term cost and regional harms caused by demolishing an operational water supply. And ironically, the plan they supported created more debt. Then they deferred to the state and a group from the Army Corps of Engineers. In the course of reviewing the risks along the Canada Way system, they saw 2 places where future storm runoff capture basins could be implemented to protect downstream people and property. They announced money was available and initial planning was underway. Okay, so anyway, where we are. So just to go back to reality, we want our water system fixed. And we don't want to spend all those millions of dollars of borrowed money on something that accomplishes nearly nothing. Really think about this, John, Ben, Nicole, you're probably going to watch this on TV, Paul, Michelle, Mike. Think about it. The only timely and financially responsible path forward is to become fully compliant with our county and state as soon as possible. And then we'll see what, if anything, we want to do next. You probably didn't notice that Dunkirk raised their rates. So we've got to jumble our cost figures again, but that's the perfect entry into like, guys, let's stop this and get our system fixed before we start thinking about doing anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew Ludwig.
I'd like to ask for 5 minutes, if that's all right. Speaking for Save Our Reservoir.
Okay.
Okay, I might not need it, but just in case. Okay, can I start? I've been having trouble sleeping, so I've been watching board meetings, school board meetings, village board meetings. And I watched the February 27th board meeting, and I was encouraged, and I want to compliment the trustees. You had an Army Corps of Engineer rep talking about securing the cliff that the water treatment plant is on. And I want to thank Trustee Twitchell, because I think you brought that representative from the Army Corps of Engineers here, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm watching this meeting, and I'm thinking, boy, it looks like they've got an open mind, and I'm really encouraged, okay? And then some things happened that maybe changed my thought process, but I'll get to that in a second. One of the things that I did notice when I was listening to that board meeting, the representative from the Army Corps of Engineers did not say that the water treatment plant was in danger of falling into the ravine any second now. And I've heard some people comment to that, whether it's the dam is a high hazard dam, and that means it's going to implode any second. It's going to send water down into Leona and flood Leona. So I think there's some misconceptions out there about what a high hazard dam is. High hazard dam is a definition, okay? It's a technical definition. It means any dam whose failure or misoperation will cause loss of human life and or significant property destruction. There are 15,600 high hazard dams in the United States. The Kinzua Dam is a high hazard dam. That doesn't mean that there's imminent danger of those dams bursting and creating havoc, okay? And I think that message needs to get out there, because I don't think it's out there. There are still people out there worried that based on some 2020 comment in the Observer that our water treatment plant is ready to fall into the cliff and our dam is ready to burst, and that's just not the case, okay? So I would like, at some point somebody to maybe to address that and that definition. And then I'm getting somewhat enthusiastic that maybe you trustees are thinking this isn't a done deal. You've said that to me before. You've got an open mind. This isn't a done deal. But then the chair of the Fredonia Pomfret Republican Party puts on a Facebook page that it is a done deal. That the plan is that the reservoir is to be repurposed, so there's no reason to save the reservoir. Now, that's your party chair, Trustee Esperson, so I'm wondering if she's speaking for you or if she's speaking out of turn. I don't know. But, it's one thing to say, oh, this isn't a done deal, but then your party chair says it is. And the Fredonia Pomfret Democrat chair basically says the same thing, that the voters have spoken, because Trustee Linden, who spoke about the reservoir and saving our reservoir in his campaign, and maybe Michael Barris, who spoke about saving the reservoir in his campaign, well, they weren't voted into office. Well, were they not voted into office because they spoke about the reservoir, or was it because their party basically abandoned support of them? And, Mayor Ferguson, that's your party chair. And is she speaking for you, I guess, is the question. So is this a done deal or isn't it? And then, let's see, didn't have time to quite organize all my thoughts, but I got a minute 55 left. Someone mentioned Dunkirk raising the rates on the water it sells to the North County Water District. And the city worked with a SUNY professor, Peter Renault, and M.J. Stafford was quoted in a paper. He wrote, Renault waded into the Fredonia water controversy, and he said if Fredonia came out of Dunkirk's shared water, there would be further gains which would lead to lower rates in the future. Well, of course the North County Water District wants to upcharge us for water so that they can pay, so that Dunkirk can pay for their brand new water treatment plant instead of us fixing our own water treatment plant, dam, and reservoir. Obviously they would want that, wouldn't they? So a lot of misconceptions out there. Would love to hear the trustees speak to any one of these things at any point in time, whether it's public. I would prefer it was public, on the record, on camera, recorded, so everybody could hear that. But I guess my big question is this a done deal or not? Thank you.
James Linden.
I wasn't sure if I was going to speak tonight. Good evening, James Linden here. But when I saw the rate increase that Dunkirk put upon the North County Water District, which they claimed before that they weren't having financial issues, but if you remember right, the county didn't claim they had financial issues. I brought that to the community's attention, and it was discovered there was. I brought it to the attention that Dunkirk was, and apparently it is. If we go with with Dunkirk, you're going to lose your autonomy, just like North County Water District did. You know, they had no choice in this increase in rate, nor will we. This rate, that $1.32 increase that Dunkirk put upon North County Water District, which would, I'm sure that they would impose that upon the village too, before we even begin. And that would add an additional approximately $19 million to the already $25 million above the cost of repairing our own, if we were to repair our own system. It makes $44 million above for water. What we currently, or what we would be paying after we had fixed our own system. Or if we were to buy theirs, utilize their system. On top of that, people haven't thought about the cost of an additional dipping into our pockets when one of our large users, our school system, gets a large bill. They're going to tack that onto your school taxes. That's another dip in your pocket for this new water system. Thoughts of I'm going into with Dunkirk. I'm going to ask you once again to rescind that resolution from December, I believe it was 26th, that has directed this village, and it is a resolution that directs them. It's not a if and or. It is for sure. That's what it states. You've chosen a direction. I'm going to ask you to rescind that and go back and rethink what you're doing. And go with the county and make a plan like they asked you to establish a safe, abundant source with our current system. Make it functional. It is the best route. Please rethink everything you're doing and take some action quickly. You're wasting a lot of time and money. Thank you.
Thank you. Correspondence.
Correspondence dated March 8th, 2023 was received from Police Officer Mike Hodkin on behalf of the Village of Fredonia Police Benevolence Association requesting to use the Water Street Municipal Lot on Sunday, April 14th, 2024 in relation to the 5th Annual Community Cleanup Day.
Be it resolved that the request from Michael Hodkin for the use of Water Street Municipal Lot on Sunday, April 14th, 2024 from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in relation to the 5th Annual Community Cleanup Day is hereby approved. Be it further resolved that the PBA and its sponsors cover all the expenses and the event is at no financial cost to the village.
I'm going to second that.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Correspondence dated February 7th, 2024 was received from the Fredonia Fire Chief requesting to transfer Carl O. Brandt to honor roll of the Fenner Hose Company.
Be it resolved that the request from Joshua Myers, Fredonia Fire Chief, to transfer Carl O. Brandt to the honor roll of the Fenner Hose Company is hereby approved.
Second.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Correspondence dated February 1st, 2024 was received from the Fredonia Farmers Market requesting use of Church Street and Barker Common from May 18th, 2024 through October 26th, 2024.
Whereas the Farmers Market has requested the exclusive use of 911 Church Street as well as East Barker Commons every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. beginning May 18th, 2024 through October 26th, 2024. Whereas the Farmers Market is requesting to close Church Street between Temple and Day Street and between Village Hall and Main Street during these hours. Whereas the farmer's market is required to provide a certificate of insurance naming the village as additionally insured, now therefore be it resolved that the farmer's market has permission for the use of 911 Church Street as well as East Barker Commons for approved market vendors each Saturday morning, beginning May 18th, 2024 through October 26th, 2024, and is subject to the direction and control of the Fredonia Police Department.
Second.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Wandell.
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the request from the farmer's market to use Village Hall downstairs restrooms and equipment shed every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. from May 18th, 2024 through October 26th, 2024 is hereby approved.
Second.
Trustee Wandell.
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Okay, mayor's report. That would be me. Lots been going on in the last few weeks. Bring you up to date. On March 4th, we met with members of the Chautauqua County Health Department to discuss and approve the upcoming forum in April. That'll happen April 10th at 6 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
Okay, it is open to the general public. We'll be taking questions from the general public on the health department's stance and reasoning, questions you may have concerning the water situation. Also on the 4th, we met with members of the CSEA to discuss current state of our water project, timelines, and et cetera, and assured them that at this point those are all still under negotiation. Trustee Esperson and I attended the Fredonia State Job and Internship Fair, and I have to say I was greatly encouraged by some of the young people that stopped by, and actually got a little emotional when a young man from the Bronx said that he was thankful that his mother's company was able to help finance his ability to come to Fredonia State, and that he would like to make the Village of Fredonia his new home. That he enjoys it here. He's enjoyed his 4 years here, actually 3.5. I think he's got one more to go. And that he would look forward to beginning his career here in the village. So that's been encouraging. March 7th, meeting with the community members interested in the possibility of a youth and sports complex in the Fredonia area. On March 12th, we toured the Village of Fredonia with the County Planning Board, showing them various areas of interest, including possible fishing entrances for Canada Way Creek, parking, public parking repaving, the business location availabilities. Had quite the conversation with them about possible grants and things that would be updated, and we'll be updating the board on those possibilities very shortly. March 12th, we also began the process of interviewing for the position of Recreation Director. We are still taking applications. Do we have a deadline on that, Michelle?
The 25th.
25th, okay. I'm sorry, Trustee Twitchell.
That's okay.
Please consider dropping yours off at our village office or sending them in the mail. We reviewed the proposed 2024 annual budget, or I have, with Erlissa. I'm giving my proposed budget to the trustees tonight for their recommendation. Once that is completed, we will announce of the proposed budget and hold a public hearing on the proposal. Tonight, we also had a press conference at the fire department to announce the county will have the state stipend to bolster the firefighter recruitment process. It is a revolutionary training stipend program aimed at tackling the recruitment challenges plaguing the fire service. The initiative, administered by the State Office of Fire Prevention and Control, stands as a beacon of hope for small communities like the Village of Fredonia, where the backbone of fire service lies in the dedication of its firefighters. Chief Joshua Meyer stood at the forefront of advocating the programming and spearheading the effort of recruitment to break down what they will be doing here. Volunteer fire departments, which serve approximately 9 million New Yorkers, have encountered significant challenges in recent years due to decline in volunteerism, coupled with a surge in demand for their services. This program, backed by a $10 million fund, aims to address the challenges by providing stipends to volunteer firefighters upon completion of essential training courses, including basic exterior fighting operations, self-contained breathing apparatus, and interior firefighting operations, and level 1 officer. These stipends range from $750 to $1,250, with additional funding available for the completion of the OFPC training courses or equivalents. For more information, contact the Fredonia Fire Department for your opportunity. You can also go to the website of the State of New York State Volunteer Firefighter Stipend Program. And that's what I have for this week, amongst others, but that's the report. So, let's go to the trustee committee reports. Trustee Brockler.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Esperson.
Yeah, after the workshop, we had a chance to sit down and talk with the health department and Lewis water treatment plant supervisor to go over the intermediate discrepancy list. And I'm happy to report that every item except a couple SOPs that Lewis is currently writing have been completed, and the health department has signed off on those. In the ever-going effort to find out where our lost water is, we're having DPW install a water meter at DPW and at the fire station. He's looking for a suitable meter for the fire station. It takes a different size than the normal ones he has. The meters at the water treatment plant, we want to calibrate the meter exiting the plant, and Lewis and LaBelle are in the process of moving the meter entering the plant to get a truer number. LaBelle feels that where it's currently measuring there may be something wrong with the pipe that's coming in, so they want to move it back a little bit. They're looking for the right spot to put it. And in response to Andy, no one speaks for me, not any party. She speaks, that's first I've heard her speak on that issue at all. But no one speaks for me except me. So I just want you to know that.
So is this a done deal or not?
It's not a done deal until the deal is done. It's the direction we are moving. That is true.
Trustee Twitchell.
Well, I just wanted to add a comment about the choice that the trustees voted on. And because that was a resolution, that meant it became law. That was a legal response from the trustees to move forward. And I think that's what everybody's questioning, Trustee Esperson, is, well, are you going to do this? Because you're saying, well, maybe we won't be able to because of certain setbacks. And I think there's a lot of questions still about
And
completing
just
that.
in response to that, I've said all along that that's the direction we're moving until and unless we get to a roadblock and are not able to go down that road, then we can change course.
What type of roadblock?
The funding is just not available, Dunkirk's not willing to negotiate, whatever might come up.
I see a roadblock already with the raise and
Okay.
the price of water.
Okay?
So that's what I would question. And my other comment I'd like to make is we are looking for members for the cable board. And if anybody out there is interested, please come stop by the clerk's office and drop off a letter responding to say that you would like to serve on our cable board. And I also did attend the Opera House, Diane Andresik's talk about Dunkirk, and I thought that was wonderful. And I'd like to maybe see something like that done here too in Fredonia. Maybe our curator at the museum could take a look at it. But unfortunately, Dunkirk went through a lot. I mean, they destroyed a lot of great buildings downtown, and you know, I was living there then, and it was just a total loss. And I really don't want to see Fredonia making a mistake in joining North County Water District or buying water from the city of Dunkirk directly, because I think we would be very, very sorry if we did that, because our village just would not exist. I'm really afraid of that, and if you could explain, you know, how that wouldn't happen, I'd appreciate it, but those are my thoughts.
Anything
Thank
else?
you, nothing else.
Trustee Wendell.
Thank you. DPW, I'm on the DPW committee, and I have been working with the plant supervisor at our wastewater treatment plant. And, you know, they have a number of ongoing issues, but I'm lending support. I'm trying to act as a facilitator to iron out some of the issues. I'll be going there tomorrow morning, or, I'm sorry, Wednesday morning to iron out some of the issues there. I would also like to say regarding our water situation, you know, I've been hearing from some of the residents, and I think it's really important that we look at two things right now that are really important, and we should prioritize two things, and that is getting the nonconformances that the Department of Health has stated to us that we have to resolve, making that a top priority, and I think we're on track. Is that right? Okay, good. The other thing is the distribution system. We have an antiquated 100-plus-year-old distribution system. So we realize with the system that there's a supply element and there's a distribution element. So we have to address both. We all understand that. So my focus would be to address the distribution system. I think we need to have I don't know, Mayor, if we have applied for a grant on the distribution system at this point.
Not yet, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I know we've applied for grants for ongoing projects, you know, that are outside the scope.
The
of the-
WIA grant due date is coming up, and
Yeah.
It is.
he has intentions to apply for it.
Yeah, but I just want to say publicly that I think that's really important. The last thing I'd like to say is I'm open to speak to anybody on one-on-one. I've talked to some of the residents, and I want to be there. I want to hear from you. So, Andy, if you want to get together with me and go out for coffee and we can talk about these things, let's set it up. So, and I would say that to anybody else. That's it.
And we're all here, we speak here every week since this thing began.
Okay.
And we tell you all our questions, we talk to you, we speak with our concerns, and all we ask is that, on the record, you actually answer.
Well, and that's what I'm expressing.
I'm sorry for speaking out of turn, but, you know, this whole idea that you want, individually, you want us to speak individually, call me when you know, on my phone or something, separately from the public outside the public eye. We're here in the public eye, just like as you are. The public needs to know all these things. The public can hear these things if you would be willing to answer them when we ask the questions, when we talk, when we speak.
So there will be a public
You
forum.
also know, Jim, but you also know, you've been an elected official for a very long time. One, we're not supposed to get into debates during speaking, and that's number one. Number two, you also know how projects move forward in a timely manner. And you also know that it doesn't happen in the course of 12 weeks. And you know, different things have stopped our progress along the way as well. So it's not that anybody's hiding anything from anyone. It's that 3/4 of what it takes to even get to where we are now hasn't been reached at that point. And I can't emphasize that enough. I respect with what you're saying. I respect all of you and what you're saying. But the fact is, everything at this point, we now have the seeker option that we are required to have for this. We're down the road. We're not any further ahead to where we need to be other than fact finding. And that's where we're at right now.
You're down the road to finding water without it. The seeker is not to
I will tell you this, that not 100% true. So we are down the road. We have spoken to find out what pricing would be, what things are going on there. Yes, they had a price increase. And yes, just for people wondering about an agreement, you know, other people know, elected officials know, nobody's going to go into an agreement with anybody unless it's a 20 or 30-year agreement with the areas of escalation, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5% on an annual basis. Frankly, If that was done on an annual basis, we probably wouldn't be in the position we're in right now.
I believe,
So-
though, that Dunkirk did have an agreement with the county and what they would be charging.
It's got nothing to do with us. The only thing they said to us
But
is they would
what
charge
I'm
us
saying
$3.87.
is, I wouldn't trust Dunkirk.
Okay, well, let's not go down that road right now. At the end of the reports, I will say one thing. As trustee Twitchell mentioned about the museum and the library, I ask that you get a chance to visit them. There's some tremendous energy there. There's a lot of great programming going on. And secondly, I was reminded again, not that I needed to be reminded, but I was reminded as I walked through the village with the planning board the other day, just how many fantastic local businesses that we have and how many restaurants we have in the downtown core. We are very fortunate that we don't have a lot of empty storefronts in the community, not that many that we need to fill. And we're looking forward to working with everybody to fill those empty spaces. And I encourage you to stop by, and when you're hungry, we got plenty of great restaurants and plenty of great stores and shops to stop by. So on that, okay, I threw my pages off here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, additional reports, or treasurer's report, I'm sorry.
Nothing to report this evening.
Okay, additional reports.
The code enforcement report, it's the year-end report for that office for 2023. Building permits issued, 272. Inspections, 917. Certificates of occupancy, 285. Certificates of compliance, 178. Violations found, 76. Violations satisfied, 66. Fees collected, permit fees, $24,636.60. Rental fees, $18,265. Certificate of compliance fees, $11,980. Hearing, $750, for a total of $55,631.60. Rental inspections, $178, and rental renewals were $117. 271 permits generated, $24,636.60 in revenue. The estimated cost of work for the year was $3,595,607. The next report is the code enforcement month-end report for February of 2024. Building permits issued, 17. Inspections, 22. Certificates of occupancy, 12. Certificates of compliance, 40. Violations found, 3, and violations satisfied, 1. Fees collected, permit fees, $1,440. Rental fees, $1,290. Certificate of compliance fees, $2,055, for a total of $4,785. Rental inspections, 18. Rental renewals, 18. 17 permits generated $1,440 in revenue, and the estimated cost of work for the month of February was $249,534. The Fredonia Police Department report for the month of February 2024. Total incidents reported, 942. Fredonia Central School calls for service, 1. Accidents, 14. Arrests reported, 23. Vehicle and traffic incidents, 171. Domestic incidents, 14. Parking tickets, 174. The Village of Fredonia Justice Court report for the month of February 2024. Total number of cases closed, 144. Of those, vehicle and traffic were 109. Criminal cases, 29. Village ordinances, 5. Civil cases, 1. Total fines and surcharges, $7,292. Parking ticket fines, $3,217, for a total of $10,509. And that's all I have for reports.
Thank you. We thank both department heads for those reports. Resolutions.
Be it resolved that the following dates and times for individual department supervisors to meet with the Board of Trustees regarding the 2024-25 budget are hereby approved. Monday, March 25th, 2024, 11 a.m. Tuesday, March 26th, 2024, 11 a.m. Thursday, March 28th, 2024, 11 a.m.
I'll second that.
Trustee Twitchell.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Brockler.
Aye.
Trustee Esperson.
Aye.
Be it resolved that pursuant to Section 5(5)20 of Village Law, the following budget transfers are hereby approved and filed in the village clerk's office at 9 to 11 Church Street, Fredonia, New York, and available upon request, and they are attached.
I second that.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign a letter of support in reference to the Water Street project to Chautauqua County Department of Planning and Development.
Second.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Be it resolved that permission is hereby granted to the literacy volunteers of Chautauqua County for the use of the sidewalk and parking spaces in front of 10 to 12 Park Place for the following dates: April 27th, National Independent Bookstore Day; Saturday, June 8th, Saturday, June 15th, Saturday, August 3rd to 5th for the anniversary celebration of Move to Fredonia; Saturday, August 31st. Use of the sidewalk area adjacent to 10 to 12 Park Place for sales throughout the calendar year as weather permits. And be it further resolved that a sidewalk permit and certificate of insurance naming the village as additionally insured in the amount of $1 million will need to be filed in the clerk's office at least 2 weeks prior to April 15th, 2024, and the event is subject to the direction of the Fredonia Police Department.
Second.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Whereas the Village of Fredonia requires the upgrading of the Neptune meter reading equipment and software for the meter reader. Whereas Ty Sales, Sudbury, Massachusetts has supplied a quote for Neptune R900 belt clip transceiver V3, including battery, Neptune MRX 920 mobile data collector, and handheld tablet computer, as well as the software and training for a total of $26,416.30. Whereas Neptune meter reading machine and software are suitable for the village's needs, therefore be it resolved, the village board hereby authorizes the purchase of the Neptune equipment as well as the necessary software for $26,416.30.
I second that.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the regular and overtime payrolls of the various village departments and bills approved by the Finance Committee and set forth in abstract number 707 through number 710 are hereby approved and directed, paid, and filed in the village clerk's office, 911 Church Street, Fredonia, New York.
Second.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our.
Mayor,
Yes.
there's
We have some
three
more.
walk-ons.
Walk-ons.
You're absolutely correct. I apologize. Don't do that again. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Be it resolved that Brian Luce is hereby appointed to the Fredonia Village Planning Board as chairman. This appointment is a change in title and will expire in March 2025.
Second.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Let me explain before you go into the second one, just so that you both know. Two of these both resolved from the Village Planning Board, and they had to make a change because one of the trustee is, or their current chairman is moving outside the village. And so they both agreed to make that change. So that's why we're doing that tonight. Go ahead.
Be it resolved that Scott McKay is hereby reappointed to the Fredonia Village Planning Board for a 5-year term expiring 2029.
A second.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye. Be it resolved that the resignation letter received from Francesca Seisel is hereby accepted, effective March 1st, 2024.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Wandel?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Seconded.
Aye.
Anything else?
Executive session.
Okay. We want to let you know that the next Village of Fredonia workshop will take place on Wednesday, March 27th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the trustee room, this very room, second floor, Village Hall. The next trustee Village of Fredonia board meeting will take place on Monday, April 1st, 2024 at 7 PM, also in this room, the trustee room, on the second floor. I'm going to ask for a motion to end this meeting and a brief executive session to follow.
I'll make a motion that we enter an executive session to discuss personnel matters.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Trustee Brockler?
Aye.
Trustee Esperson?
Aye.
Trustee Twitchell?
Aye.
Trustee Wandell?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, your consideration, and your opinions this evening. And thank you very much to the cable system tonight for being, resolving their issue. And we will see everybody in my chambers downstairs in just a moment for the executive session. Thank you.